What is going on? It is Nate the Game Guy coming back with another video at hand, and today I want to talk to you guys about graded video games. Now, graded video games have been around for quite a while now at this point. However, there are a lot of collectors that do not like graded video games, while on the flip side of things, there are collectors that will buy graded video games and add them into your collection. Now in this video, I do plan to share some of my thoughts and my opinions and share a bit of some background when it comes to the matter and subject of graded video games. So without further ado, let's dive right into this video subject, take a look at a little bit of some background when it comes to graded games right after the intro. Alright, so let's start things off by talking about the basics. So what exactly are graded video games? Well, essentially, graded video games are games that are put into a package where it shows the game in the package, the title, along with the grade itself. When you send a game into grading through a service such as Wata Games, you are mailing your game over to the grading service, and then Wata Games, or whatever service you decide to use, will then examine the game, take a look at the condition, take a look at its authenticity, and then after everything is said and done, they will put it into a package and they will mail it back to you, or you get to see through it the game, the grade, and of course the title of the game. Now, when you send a game into grading, they will put a grade on it, and the higher the grade of your game is, the better condition your game is in. The lower the grade, the worse your game is in with its condition. Now, this isn't necessarily a new concept. This has been going on with other collectible items as well, especially with trading cards, and most notably sports cards, Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, you name it. It's been a thing for quite a while now. Now, of course, with graded video games, I would say this is essentially taken off since the mid to early 2010s, and a lot of collectors will sometimes send it into grading, and other times they will go onto another website such as eBay, Mercari, whatever, and they will purchase a game that's already been graded already. Now, Wata Games has been doing this for a while with older games, especially like Super Nintendo games, Nintendo 64 games, all that. But then they would later down the line would announce that, hey, they're also going to be doing more modern games as well. So that is essentially what graded video games are. You basically get your game in a package. You get to have it sit on a shelf. Now, unfortunately, when you put it into the package, it's not really meant to be opened up. It's just meant to just sit on a shelf. You look at it, you get to see the grade, and it just sits there all fine and pretty. Now, obviously, it's not really something that's for everyone, but that is essentially a bit of some background when it comes to the subject of what exactly a graded video game is. Now, there are certainly some negatives to talk about when it comes to graded video games. A lot of people within the game collecting community, along with other game collectors as well, have speculated, complained, and accused graded video games of inflating the market when it comes to various video games across the board. Whether they are games from the Super Nintendo or the GameCube, doesn't matter which console or game it is, they have accused graded video games of inflating the price. Now, I am not an expert when it comes to pricing and whether something is inflating something or not, but what I can say is that normally graded video games are more expensive than if you were to buy a video game complete in box. For example, normally a game that is about $100 complete in box can go for about $150, $200, $300, sometimes even more than that when it comes to the game being graded and having that grade on it, being packed up all nice and all that stuff, and everything that comes along with it. Now, when it comes to graded video games, I would say they are not recommended for somebody that wants to have a game on their shelf, being able to pick up, play it in said console, and have a good time. Graded video games are essentially just meant to be a collectible that sits on a shelf. So if you're somebody that likes to pick up a game, take it over to their console and play it, you're probably going to want to steer clear of getting a graded video game, whether it is sending it into a grading service or picking it up off of somebody else, whether it is at a game convention or a reseller online. It's just not something that's not going to work out for you. However, if you are somebody that doesn't really mind having a game that's just looking on a shelf all nice and pretty, and you've got that grade on it and all that wonderful stuff, it's probably going to be something that appeals to you. But yeah, those are a few cons to think about when it comes to the matter of graded video games. Now guys, before we continue things along when it comes to the matter of graded video games, I just want to give you guys a quick recommendation and talk to you guys about Utsugushi. Now, Utsugushi is an anime-inspired streetwear clothing brand that is not only the sponsor of this video, but also an amazing clothing brand that has a lot of interesting designs that embrace both anime and Japanese culture with the multiple designs that they have on their t-shirts, hoodies, and hats. Now, what I really like about Utsugushi is not only the designs that they have for their clothes, but also the quality that they have as well. They use a special technique to put the designs on their products to ensure that you are getting a quality product that is going to last a while and will be able to put up with some wear and tear over time. The shirts are also very comfortable as well, and the clothing brand tries to be environmentally conscious with their hoodies that are made from both recycled and organic materials. And also, when you place an order through Utsugushi, it takes a little bit longer because it is sent through a print-on-demand process, meaning they do not keep multiple quantities of one shirt, but it is special ordered for you to prevent waste from going into the environment. And with every purchase that you make through Utsugushi, you earn rewards points that you can use to get special discounts. And when you have enough rewards points saved up, you can even use them to buy a full shirt, hoodie, or hat, or any other product of your choice. And of course, I have a special discount to share with you guys today. Please make sure to use the coupon code NATE15 so that way when you go to itsugushiclothing.com, you could save 15% off your entire first order when you use the coupon code NATE15. So please make sure to head on over to itsugushiclothing.com today. Pick up a nice, good discount along with some really cool clothing as well. Not only will you get some nice merch for yourself, but you also help support the channel as well. So please make sure to head on over to itsugushiclothing.com today and remember to use the coupon code NATE15 to save 15% off your entire first order. Now, let's head on back to the main subject at hand. So what do I think about graded video games? Well, as mentioned from before, I don't own any graded video games here in the game room, so I'm sure you guys can safely assume that I don't like graded video games, which is true. When it comes to my game room and my overall game collection, I want to have all my games, and that means consoles too. I mean literally everything here in the game room be accessible within a moment's notice to pick up, play, and have myself a good time. So when it comes to graded video games, it just doesn't line up when it comes to my goals here within the game room and the game collection. And of course, I want to have that accessibility even be available to games that I don't plan on playing. Now, if you are somebody that has stuck around on the channel for a while, you already know that I am a completionist, where I am trying to complete as many sets as possible and of course have all the games for said system here in the game room. Now, it may sound very weird and stupid that I want to have my games be accessible, including the ones that I don't plan on playing, but that's just how I want to do things here in the game room. Now, of course, when it comes to my views on graded video games, I'm not here to tell anybody you cannot buy a graded video game or you're this or that if you buy a graded video game. At the end of the day, these are all our game rooms. We all have our own collecting goals and all that wonderful stuff. So if you want to buy graded video games and put them on a shelf in your game room, go for it. But when it comes to my personal goals, it just doesn't make sense for me to buy any graded video games. Realistically, the only time I would ever see myself ever buying a graded video game for my personal game collection is it would have to be a game that I really want to add to the collection to finish a set for, and the only listing that I can ever find online happens to be a graded copy of the game. That would probably be the only time I would ever buy a graded video game. And of course, granted, I would tear it out of the package just so I could put it on the shelf and have it sit there just like a normal video game. But yeah, I'll admit, I'm just not a fan of graded video games as a whole. Hey guys, thank you so much for checking out my video. Please be sure to check out these videos here, and here. After all, I post a lot of content when it comes to game collecting tips, and other video game related subjects. So be sure to keep an eye out every Monday and Friday where I upload consistently, and I'll be seeing you guys next time.